Hey everybody, what is going on? I am Maximus Rex and this is Big Baby Reviews. Today is JAE LEE Day, so we're looking at Namor the Sub-Mariner. This is issue number 35, February 1992. Kind of a milestone, just putting it out there. This is the last review that I will ever do in my apartment here in the city of Montreal. We are moving tomorrow, so this is the last review. Came down to the wire, guys. Been moving all week, back and forth with the car. Gonna have the truck this weekend to move all the big stuff. Basically tomorrow morning. So, you know, usually I like to be a little bit more ahead in the shooting of videos. But, you know, again, with the move and all the different things we've got to be going around and doing, it came down to the wire. I've been shooting 2, maybe 3 videos, you know, here and there when I can. And just, this is the last one here. So let's get to it. And then so I can move on, do some other stuff and finish up the move and get that going. So it'll give me, guys, about a 2-week period where I can, you know, focus on cleaning the stuff I need to clean, the new house, the garage mostly. And setting up and everything. And so the next video you see, which will still be coming out, you know, as you're watching this tomorrow, will be the first official video shot in the new house. So, you know, I'll be talking about that for you tomorrow, for me in a couple of weeks when I start shooting videos again. And again, for you, it's not going to change anything. There should be no problems, and there should still be a video a day. Plus the motion comic book video slash thing that I did for my buddy Gino and his band World on Alert. So you can check that out. I've been doing previews of all the illustrations every day. His video actually comes out, or has probably already came out at this point. So go check that stuff out on my channel. Should have promoted that earlier, but I will be promoting it on Facebook and stuff like that when the time comes. So hopefully you check that out when the premiere happens. That is on April 4th, 2025. All right, so let's get through this because I don't have a lot of time. Literally doing this between a few moves. I've loaded up the car with a bunch of stuff, and now I'm waiting on a friend who's come to help me out. When he gets here, he's going to park his car. We're going to load his car up, and both of us are going to drive off to the new house, drop that stuff off, and come back to the city, get ready, go to bed, and get up early tomorrow, bright and early, get the truck, and do the official move. So there you go. This issue of Namor is what we're here to talk about. So I gotta say, honestly, this cover to me is a little bit lackluster in the sense that nothing horrible really about it, but it's a pretty kind of, you know, typical JAE LEE cover. A lot of silhouette work, not a lot of detail, which is, I would say, actually not like a typical JAE LEE cover, but, you know, feels like a Deadline cover. But the issue within, I think, is amazing. I have a theory about it, so let's check it out. Cover's fine. Inside art, though. I believe that at this point, production value-wise, JAE LEE has seen the comics, the Namor comics coming out, and has realized maybe this issue here, because I still didn't see this, or what I'm going to talk about in last issue or the ones before that, has realized that the pages for Namor are not full bleed, right? So now I think he's adapted to that, and he's actually now conceiving of his pages as if they, again, are not full bleed, and as if that white border that we talk about production-wise is going to be present. So it's like the art all of a sudden fits on these pages better than they did before. A lot of Bisley here. I mean, again, I could be fooled into thinking I'm reading a Lobo comic if the coloring was changed when you took the bubbles out, because the bubbles, as I said, always indicate that they're underwater. Simple way of doing it. And graphically, as an artist, I'm like, that's genius, because, you know, you don't have to draw a lot of actual water. And with Namor, you know, I'd say you should go even crazier here with the hair. Talked about it before, the conceit that, you know, people are talking underwater is just, it annoys me. It just makes no sense. I know it's superhero stuff, but whatever. In the Aquaman movie, it made no sense, and it doesn't really make sense here. Again, this is the most, look for this stuff, right, that I talk about. As we go through the pages, I'll point it out that he's probably realized the format and is adapted to it art-wise. But this is the most heavy metal issue of Namor up to date. Just as far as the look of it, the texture, the design work, the storytelling, the characters. This is, you know, this could have been published in Heavy Metal Magazine. Absolutely no problem. This whole issue, look at that, right? So now I do feel that, you know, he's just understood that it's going to be framed. So he's kept that in mind. This is kind of funny that they would do the indicia in this, you know, dark section down here. I kind of like it because it's almost like a beginning of a movie in film credits. I find this page reminds me of that. It's very cool. And just even this small little drawing here is just so evocative, right? The silhouette of this, you know, evil druid guy and Namor and this Atlantean queen standing next to him, right? And even just the little bits of silhouette we get there, and then moving into this, you know exactly what it. He does, again, I'll say, he does so much with so little. It's just amazing. His staging and his composition is just perfect. I don't think that has changed much in his art. I've talked about it before. The aesthetic a little bit, but the staging and the composing of the page, man, the design work, the shapes and stuff, it's just, yeah. Look at, again, you know, where his panel ends to me makes sense. I don't think he's trying to go full bleed here. You know, he's closed this off. The pages, once again, just design-wise, feel way more adapted to the format than anything from the previous issues. Look at this page. I mean, what is this? It's just a quick drawing of, you know, this character down here and this guy. He's used that kind of circle texture I told you about from Bernie Wrightson and Kelly Jones here. And then a pretty cool gradient screen tone here. Such, again, I'll bring back this idea I talked about a few issues ago of the kind of, I would almost say, you know, hairdressing aesthetic from the early 90s. The look of the books and the lettering and the kind of graphics that they used. I know that sounds weird, but it does work here. In, you know, it's not like it reminds me of hairdressing specifically, but I remember these kinds of graphic sensibilities, these shapes being on like bottles and hairdressing magazines. You must know my mom was a hairdresser, you know, in the 80s and the 90s. So, you know, remember seeing those. What a clever design for, you know, characters moving towards us. From the background to the foreground, amazing. And just the fact that it pops out here, what you kind of expect the top of the panel to be, love it. And again, the character designs throughout, this is so heavy metal. Beautiful. When he uses the rougher brushes and a bit of dry brush and stuff, the splatter. This again, he's, you know, the vertical, he's used it horizontally last issue, now he's using it vertically. It's got like such a hypnotic effect almost. Like almost like a seizure inducing. Very Simon Bisley here, very Lobo, wham. Yeah, it's pretty much ripped off, I would say. Kind of cool though. Does a lot with the silhouettes once again. Throws in some highlights here for the muscles and stuff. The volume's kind of interesting. But these demons flying around, I like. Important when you're, you know, a horde or an army that you're fighting, or lots of characters kind of look the same, you know, to always make sure he's done it here. You know, you wouldn't draw 3 characters in the same pose, right? It's almost like it's a movement that's being described. You could almost imagine it as an animation. I've talked about this idea before, but that like this is the same character where he starts off as he's thrown across and as he's on the ground, right? Even though logically we know these are 3 different characters within the story, but it's important to not depict them all the same. You know, Rob Liefeld would do something like that sometimes with like his running characters. With the, you know, all the running characters are in the exact same pose, and it makes it kind of boring and static, right? So if every character kind of represents a different part of the movement of running, it seems more fluid, right? It's a nice visual trick. Something you should always think about when you're drawing a lot of characters who look the same. It's kind of a weird emphasis on the crotch. No, is it just me? Anyways. A lot of Bisliness in this, and again, that's why I say this issue is so heavy metal. Art-wise, and you know, I gotta say, a lot of splash pages. Another clear example of JAE Lee, like just, you know, the background, a lot of design work. The background is just a flat monochrome color. I mean, again, I still like it, but these are those examples of pages he can get through pretty quickly. This guy here, the skull, the sword, like very, very Skeletor. I think we're going to see him later. There's that bubble texture again, used as kind of just a strip behind the character. I've seen Kelly Jones do this before, right? Feels very Kelly Jones-ish. Even the textures on this guy's shoulder pad here. Don't know if the camera picks that up. I'm trying to lift it up a bit. Maybe that helps. But yeah, that's both these textures. I feel like he's looking at Kelly Jones. Not quite sure, you know, just something weird I'll point out every once in a while, a little fault. The faraway dragon, I think, works here, right? but I don't know if it works here. Unless he's supposed to be tiny, but I feel like he's supposed to be big and far away. I could be wrong on that. Pretty good storytelling page. You know, he's got to put a little bit more work in, more panels. But again, he's smart about it. The silhouette of the drapes and stuff, and just a little bit of a highlight there really works well. You know, when he does the backgrounds, he's so smart about it and so simple and effective. Elegant. I hate to use the word again, but it's, yeah, that's what it is. He mixes roughness. Look at Namor, and then look at this lady here, right? So she's very elegant, and he's just rough, and you know, it's pretty cool. It's ballsy to do, I think. The juxtaposition it works, I think. Little bubbles again. Yeah, these pages are so heavy metal. Love it. Again, the hordes, the silhouetted hordes are great. There's our Skeletor buddy. I just call him Skeletor. He's Skeletor, right? Love the layering, very 90s, right? Panels over panels. Just got one here. Again, this is, I could see maybe the Mike Mignola influence in the dark silhouettes, but also in the composition. This is kind of a Mike Mignola feel. More, again, sometimes just the background characters are the backgrounds. Interesting. This works too. He's kind of using the same old trick over and over, so it gets, gets a little boring. Still think it's pretty cool though. Yeah, when he does something like this, I like. Nice, beautiful kind of silhouetted drawing here. Very simple, clean. This is the hairdressing magazine look right there. Am I wrong? I feel like this is it here. Imagine, you know, just not a blue lady with pointing ears and some weird headdress, but just, you know, some new wave kind of haircut. Maybe it's just me. Really like this last splash page. It's very 2001, right? Space Odyssey. Does remind me of the monolith and all that. And there's just something very foreboding, obviously, from the angle. And again, it's just a clever silhouette. Oh, man, I just marvel at like how much those silhouettes that he does evoke the proper kind of, I feel the wind and stuff, you know? Could have almost added a little bit of dust flying off, but I mean, did a great job here. Her tattered clothes and the hair in the wind. I think those are demonic eyes here. Very cool. Again, this is, to me, either heavy metal or Conan, you know what I mean? Something like that. So Namor is kind of like Atlantean Conan right now, at least in this series. All right, guys, there you have it. That is my review, the final review, The Montreal Apartment of Namor the Submariner, issue number 35. If you're still watching, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. If you're watching but you are not subscribed, please do so below. It only takes a second for you. Helps the channel out, helps us grow, helps get us out there to other people who are into comic books, just like we are, and closer to our goal of 500 subscribers, where at that point YouTube actually considers us kind of an official channel, actually starts helping us out a little bit as far as pushing us on your suggested videos on the right hand side of the videos you're watching on YouTube. So everyone out there, thank you so much. There will be a new video tomorrow, as I said, from the new household. For me, that means a couple of weeks off to kind of take a break, get the house set up, and get re-energized to start doing videos again in a couple of weeks. So everyone out there, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and have yourselves an awesome day, an awesome week, and an awesome fortnight. And those of you who aren't British, figure out what that means. 2 weeks is what it is. All right, guys, thank you so much.
Like, subscribe, like, subscribe.
King Comics presents Big Baby, Volume 1, Issues 1 to 13, 204 pages of story and art. King Comics also presents Star Crasher one-shot, 32 pages, cosmic sci-fi surrealist adventure. You can find these fine comics at KingComics.CA, at MaximusRex13 on Instagram, or on Facebook, MaxRex or Big Baby.